Hey everyone, the article which we're going to be studying today is called Making Excel a Little Smarter, and it's from the Journal of Accountancy. The original author was Lois S. Mahoney and Charles Callagher, but today it will be reviewed by me, Liam, by myself, because my partner dropped the class. Anyway, today we'll be reviewing splitting cells, combining cells, and the VLOOKUP function. I think we've already gone through quite a few of these before in some of our other articles, but hopefully this is good review for you and will help you, as it says, learn some useful tricks for Excel. Anyway, let's get started. So here I have some information. We're going to use the data ribbons text to column function in order to arrange some of this information. Sometimes you have a problem when you export data or bring in information from other sources that it won't separate it out how you want it to be separated. For example, if you bring something in from Word or maybe the internet, instead of putting it all nicely, it's going to put it in one cell. But we can fix that actually fairly easily with using the text to column option. Now first of all, we've got some names here for us. Okay, we have the prefix, we've got the first name and the last name, and we actually want to separate these all into separate cells. So quite simply, we're going to highlight all of the information, we're going to click text to columns. Alright, I'll bring up a box, and in this box it says delimited or fixed width, and it's usually going to highlight the one that it thinks you need. Now what delimited does, it basically wants you to tell it, or Excel wants you to tell it, how you want the cells to be separated. For example, if we look over here, nothing's really symmetrical. Liam Strong is not the same length as Veronica Wu. That's just how it is. And so we're going to need to tell Excel how to separate our information. So let's go next. We'll leave it as delimited and go next. Okay. So there's some delimiters, as they call them over here. Well, basically delimiters are ways to separate the information. Now obviously there is no commas or semicolons in this information, but one thing that each of these names, or what do you call it, columns, no, not columns, each of these cells has in common is they have spaces between each word. So we're going to click space, and it's going to use the space as our delimiter and separate all the information. Easy peasy. Let's click finish. There we go, it's done. We can write first name, that's wrong, first name, last name, etc. Okay, next, beside the names I've got some phone numbers, and this is a problem that I ran into quite a bit on Excel, is it won't put any spaces between the area code, the local code, and also the extension. But using, once again, the text to columns function, we can easily separate out this information. So highlight it, text to columns, and this time we can use fixed width, because as you'll notice, each of the columns has exactly the same number of characters. Okay, so let's do that, fixed width, and go next. Now, we want the first three numbers to be separated out, because the first three numbers are always the area code. So if we click between the third number and the fourth number down here, it's going to put in a break. Well, basically we're going to tell Excel to separate out the information at that point. Also, we don't really want the local code and the extension to be together, so we'll put another line in there. And we'll click, we don't need to click next, just click finish. And there you go, we've got the area code, we have the local code, and we have the extension. Easy stuff, huh? Okay, finally, we have some kind of more random information. Now we can see that there's some information at the beginning of each of these, some in the middle, some at the end, but they're not using the same, I suppose, character to separate them out. But that's okay, because once again, if we go into here, delimited, it's got all those options that you saw earlier. We can use things like spaces, but actually there's no spaces, so we can unhighlight that. Do we have any commas? Yeah, we have some commas, so we can use comma as a delimiter. Separates out those ones. We have some semicolons, we can use that. Separates out the rest. And let's see. Okay, the last two have dashes that are separating the information. So we can click other, and you can put anything you want in this other area, but we'll use dashes, and there you go, it separates all our information. And we'll go finish. Now it looks all kind of jumbled at the moment, but that's just because they're not lined up. So if we line that up, you can see it's separated out our information very well. Okay, last of all, well actually that's all for separating cells. Now we're going to talk about combining cells. Okay, so at this point I want to combine first name of the employee and their position. So down here we're going to hit the equal sign. We'll click the cell, or cell B3 with the name, and we'll use the ampersand key, or the and sign, whatever you call it. I never heard the word ampersand until I heard Brother Kimball use that word. Anyway, there it is. Ampersand, and I'll show you something. If you just click the position and click and press enter, it's actually not going to separate the two. It's going to smush them together, and we don't really want that, so I'll delete that. What we're going to do is we're going to click equals the name ampersand, and then we're going to add something inside of speech brackets or quotation marks. Okay, so we hit quotation mark. Now the quotation mark doesn't get put in, but it just tells Excel what to put there. We'll put quotation mark, space, dash, space, close the quote. And then one more time we'll hit ampersand and the position. Now if we hit enter, you'll see that it's actually arranged that nicely. And we can drag that down because, well, you guys know how it works. You drag that down and it's copied down the rest. Okay, so that's it everyone for separating cells and combining cells. Really easy stuff, kind of a review. Now we're going to go on and learn about the VLOOKUP function. Okay, so here I've got some information. It's the employees, and it's basically their information about their paycheck. And over here we have another column that's empty, and it's at the top it says withheld for 401k. 401k is basically a retirement fund, and each employee gets to basically choose how much of each week's, or each, wait, this is this is each fortnight. Okay, they get to choose fortnightly how much of their paycheck is withheld for their retirement. Now we're going to use the VLOOKUP function, and it's actually going to look up everybody's desired withholding percentage from a different sheet. So if we click on sheet 3 down here, we have the information set out here. So Liam wants 8% of his weekly bi-weekly paycheck withheld for 401k, and so on. Alright, we're going to actually name this area so we can use it in our VLOOKUP. Okay, we'll just call it retirement. Alright, easy. Now if we come back, now let's start using the VLOOKUP. Press equals, type in V, it's down here actually, VLOOKUP, double click. The first thing it asks us is the lookup value. Now this is actually going to be the name, because if you look, the names are the things that relate. So we're going to click C2. Okay, and then it's asking us for the table array. Now I showed you the table earlier, it's this area here. Okay, and we named it retirement, remember, and actually you see as I highlighted that, it put retirement up there. And we'll close that off. Next it asks us to identify the column that it's going to calculate or pull, or that's going to look up for us. And it's going to look up column not 1 but 2. So we'll type in 2. And then last of all, it asks us if we want it to be true or false. I think we went over this in an earlier video, but true means approximate match and false means exact match. Now obviously there's no approximate matching because names are not approximate. Numbers can be approximate, but names cannot be. So we're going to use false for exact match. So if it finds Liam in the lookup value, it's going to locate Liam on here and find what's in cell number 2, or the second column. Alright, let's close off that. Come back to sheet 2. And so what this is telling us right now is it's going to look up 0.8. Okay, but that's not how much we want to be withheld. So we're going to come back into the formula and we're just going to put times the amount. Enter. Okay, there we go. So Liam, that's me by the way, my name's Liam, hey. Anyway, Liam gets a paycheck every fortnight of $1,200 and he wants $96 of that deducted or withheld for his 401k. And we copy that down and it works for everybody. Alright, so guys, I'm tired because I had to do this all by myself. In a quick review, we did separating cells, combining cells, and VLOOKUP. I hope this was helpful, and mahalo. Bye bye.